And I wanted to make sure that she doesn't have to fight like how many other countless women have had to fight for my reproductive rights. I wanted to make sure that she doesn't have to do the same thing.
But I'm saying, you know, people were bitching and moaning and saying, you know, it's your fault that the grocery. No, the people we shop with, it's their issue because they have people they have to give money to. If your prices are high, it's because the people we're shopping with are charging us more money.
Well, Whoopi, I don't even know how to process what you just said. But the fact that you're blaming business owners for high prices when they're simply responding to the inflation caused by the Biden-Harris administration is nothing short of outright dishonesty or a complete lack of understanding of basic economics. And frankly, you're demonstrating both.
Hey everyone! So I just rented one of these shareable bikes and they're kind of useless. I gotta be honest, I hate having my male parts. It's such a drag, no pun intended, and it just really gets in the way and it's super annoying. So I feel like they need to make bikes that are more ergonomic and trans-friendly. So drop a comment and let me know what you think. Bye everyone!
Whether this guy is joking or not is irrelevant because of the fact that once you believe in all of the nonsense of what's going on and believing that there are different genders and there are infinite genders, you come up with nonsense like this guy is saying.
If I come downstairs and the kitchen is clean and you've done it all and you've done all the dishes and you've closed all the pantry doors, you better be ready to get your dick sucked. I mean, like, literally, that is my love language. I don't need a red Ferrari. I can buy a red Ferrari. Just do the fucking dishes. I will suck your dick. It's not easy. Sorry.
This woman is literally pushing 40, yet she talks like a 17-year-old.
Just ignore that, don't worry about that. Probably just going through a breakup, you know, happens.
The thing that I find hilarious about videos like this is the fact that I understand what goes behind what they had to do to even get this type of video. They had to get their camera out, press record, then they posted it on social media, and before they posted it on social media, they looked at the video again, edited the video, and then posted it. Once people realize that's the amount of effort and the things that they had to go through to get this sort of video, you will look at videos like this a completely different way, regardless of the fact that they were engaging in some weird behavior anyway.
Buongiorno! This is my manicotti, and later this year a surgeon will turn it into a tortellini. How, you ask? Let me show you. Now, if I still had my meatballs, which I don't because I got them removed last summer, this would be the first thing the surgeon would remove. So, let's go ahead and do that. Ugh. With the meatballs gone, his next move will be to split the manicotti straight down the middle. I wasn't trained for this. Ooh, we did it. We will then open the manicotti and lay it down flat. Inside the manicotti, there's all kinds of filling, which the surgeon will remove. Ugh. Once it's cleaned out, the only thing left will be a small tube of spaghetti that carries all of the manicotti's various sauces. We'll come back to this tube later, but for now, we will shorten it. Next, the surgeon will use the outer shell of the manicotti to create the inner lining of the tortellini. But before the surgeon can create the tortellini, he must first make room for the tortellini. Hey, this might fit. Hey, look at that, we did it. Now we just make sure that our pasta transportation tube is set in the right position inside. And just like that, we have created a brand new tortellini. One final and important note. I know this doesn't look like an appetizing tortellini, but after it's healed, it will. The aesthetics of this surgery have come so far in the past few decades, and the results are truly mind-blowing. And one final note, it's been Lily the whole time.
People who think like this guy right here are completely normal.
So as a white man, if I see color, I'm a racist. But if I don't see color, I'm ignoring racism? Got it.
Before we get back into the video, I need everyone to turn on their post notifications so that you get notified whenever one of my videos come out. Like the video as much as possible, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and follow me on Twitter at YinkaThatGuy. Let us get back into the video.
What makes me special?
You're special because you identify with a group of people who are propagated everywhere of society, advertised everywhere in society, and that's what makes you special. Make it make sense. Ah, yes, that makes a lot of sense. You couldn't actually fight against actual real men, so you decide to change your gender and threaten act.
Roll over. Oh my God! My mom never let me have a dog!
Yup, we are completely doomed.
There's a lot of weight on these things, as they should be, as there should be. You know, this is about respecting who someone is, their humanity, who they are.
The actor says he doesn't let misgendering bother him unless it's done intentionally.
As long as someone's not like really, you know, intentionally coming for me or something, it's not.
Yeah.
Patience, it's okay.
Paige reflected on his own journey while discussing his transgender character, Sam, in Close to You. Unlike Sam, he doesn't correct people who misgender him by mistake. Yet Paige recognized that it does take him a moment to move on when it happens.
The thing that makes no sense with the ABCD community is the fact that if you can just make up whatever gender you want to make up and you allow people to believe whatever they want to believe, what if people believe that there's only men and women and that's what they believe, and they believe that you can't change your gender, therefore to them they're not actually misgendering you like you claim they are.
It's not correct that there is such a thing as biological sex, and I'm a historian of medicine. I can unpack that for you at great length if you want, but in the interest of time, I won't.
You've heard what the professor has to say. What's your response?
Well, I don't understand what the claim that there's no such thing as biological sex means, and I certainly think it's, let's call it an error, to suggest that there's some sort of scientific consensus about that.
I don't agree with why Dr. Peterson has been asked to stop abusing students on campus.
To stop doing what?
Abusing students.
I see.
And are you prepared to suffer the consequences that society may deem you need to suffer because of your views?
Yes, I'm prepared to do that. If they find me, I won't pay it. If they put me in jail, I'll go on a hunger strike. I'm not doing this. And that's that. I'm not using the words that other people require me to use, especially if they're made up by radical left-wing ideologues.
I thought I've seen all the stupid videos and all the stupid people I could see, but then we come across a video like this where we have someone saying biological sex is not real.
Why doesn't The View have any trans women on it?
Great point. It has a lot of women that look trans, but none of them... It has a lot of second and third takes. After a drink, you'd go, huh? But it doesn't have a ton of,
It's zero.
I agree. It should be all trans women.
They do have a point.
What do you identify yourself as?
She, her. Non-binary, they, them. She, they.
So what is the best thing about your identity?
My fashion style. Honestly, just the fact that I scare a lot of people is really fun to me. So.
How about you?
Dating women and like non-binary people.
They always have a certain look.
How did you happen to hire a team of all Black women? I write my job descriptions such that they attract Black women. I have an anti-racism policy. We are very clear in my values are really clear even in the job description, that it not only attracts, but it also repels. certain values and beliefs.
This just sounds like racism with extra steps, and apparently black people can't be racist. It's all nonsense, and people want to play victim, and then they're engaging in things like this and saying things like this out in public, that you purposefully put out things so that you can hire just black people. Yeah, you are not racist.
Men just do what women want.
Why?
Because they care about women and they want women to be happy and they want them to love them. You can go back to, say, the Victorian era, and men used to treat women with an extreme amount of deference because the generations living then remembered a time when the world was a lot more difficult than people now remember it being. The physical inequality between men and women was emphasized because the world was a much more difficult place. And so men took a paternalistic and patriarchal view on how women should be treated. And women wanted men to take that. And men did what they could. Now, men have won. The fact that we're not about to be invaded is the victory of Western man. Then for some reason, women decided, okay, well, I'm not afraid anymore. I want what you have. You don't do the things that we do, so you can't have what we have. But men just want women to be happy. They want them to love them. They want their approval. And so if gaining women's approval means pretending women are equal to men or whatever it is, they'll do it. And it's completely taken men off of the throne that they sat on. This throne was never imposed by authority, actually. It's imposed by consent. And the second women withdrew their consent for the man to be on that throne, well, the throne collapses and the men are just standing around going, okay, well, I guess I'll just play video games and drink beer all day and smoke weed. And if you don't need me, I won't do anything. Because that's really the whole raison d'etre of being a man, just to be needed by someone else. And it's always been women. And until women understand that actually they're kind of destroying men, then nothing will change, because men will never be able to stand up for themselves and their own dignity.
And the most interesting thing is feminism has propagandized women to go into the workforce because apparently men have been abusing them, when we all know that's lies. The fact that they now go into the workforce, and the very interesting thing is all the jobs that they do in the workforce is majority of the things that they would normally do for their husband, but now they're doing it for daddy money and daddy corporations, with corporations who, when they don't have any use for you anymore, can fire you whenever they want.
In my opinion, right, it's like, it's not like I'm making them spend millions, right? I'm not making them go broke. When a man lies to a woman to get her into bed and like makes her think like she's like the only one or etc., it's like, that's like feelings, emotions, and trauma. A guy that I take money from is not going to be traumatized at the end of the day because they know what they signed up for.
First of all, we have a bunch of suppositions here that need to be attacked, right? So the first one is, how can you say that this would always come from trauma if a man is taking care or a man is exploiting? You could never make the claim that that is traumatic, while at the same time saying that it could never be traumatic for a man to be exploited for money. How in the world could you ever make those claims?
Because how would a man be traumatized for losing $200?
Because they feel like they were taken advantage of the same way a woman would if you lied to her for, right?
No.
No. Oh, no. No. Well, okay, so can you give me the counter to that besides no?
This is basically feminism 101.
If Jesus were here today, he would be a clinic escort, distracting women from the hatred of the protesters, or an abortion doula, holding women's hands and offering support and love as they end their pregnancies. And I expect he would have a stern word for self-righteous legislators who use abortion as a political issue rather than showing compassion for the people seeking abortions. Today, on this Rose Sunday, I wanted to share some of the stories we have collected, because these are the sacred stories of women's lives. If Jesus were giving his sermon today, he might also have said, "Blessed are those who end pregnancies, for they will be known for their loving kindness." I have been pregnant 4 times. I have had 2 abortions, and I have 2 amazing children. Each of my reproductive decisions, to have children and not to have children, were sacred decisions because they reflect the moral responsibility of reproductive power that is part of our inheritance as human creatures. Each of you has a reproductive story. And given that 1/4 of American women will have an abortion by the age of 45, I imagine some of your reproductive journeys also include abortion. Blessed are those who end pregnancies, for they will be known for their loving kindness. Reimagining our theological understanding of abortion is essential to addressing the violence that is being done to people across the country in the name of Christianity. In the face of the rampant reproductive injustice in our society, what does God require of us? Amen.
What the